guys are so funny. You're trying to get me to do this stupid shit. And
she just whispered, "I'm a bad bitch," for anyone who didn't hear. Stop. 420.
I'm lit at Disney.
And the kids asleep in the bath.
There we go. A ball sack station. That's what a business owner looks like. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Tattoo Homewreckers. That's a podcast. Oh, this is a podcast. Fucking Christ. We are starting out rough.
This is a podcast where we talk about tattoos, life, and everything in between. My name is Lou. I almost said my name is Callista.
You're used to hearing it the other way around. And my name is Cal.
I'm also weirdly crooked in this chair.
I don't know. There's a lot of things that are happening. Sometimes when we turn on the camera, it's only when we press record that I start having sensory things. And I'm like, why the fuck?
What sensory stuff is happening?
My eyeball is bothering me quite a bit. Yes. And it's like watery on one side. And my hair is bothering me and my hands are dry. So. Oh,
yeah. My hands are also dry. I just noticed that too. Yeah. That I was like, ooh, that soap dried the shit out of my hands.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So we're going to start off with, what does your gender feel like?
Oh, my gender feels like a very tired but very happy like bunny that's about to go into hibernation.
Ooh, nice.
Yes. What is your gender? Like?
I was thinking about this because I knew we were going to start the episode with it, and I currently feel like a rock that got painted pretty.
Oh, great. Last episode you were a desert rock.
Yeah. Well, this way but I'm like a proper like English rock. I'm like slate.
Yes.
So like a nice, like beautiful smoother gray.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're still textured. Okay, we still got some texture on us.
Cool.
But I've been painted to be really pretty.
That's I ain't no Riverstone.
No, not smooth enough.
Rad.
So it is our 1 year anniversary for CaliLou's.
Yay, we did it. One year.
One year. Fucking nuts. We've been talking about how like a year for us is a very long period of time. A lot of things happen in a year.
So much happens in a year for us. So much happens in a month for us. And it's funny because it's like, everyone always says that like when you get older, the years go by faster. And in some cases, yes, I totally agree with that. In other cases, I'm like, dude, I feel like this year was jam-packed full of fucking action. Yeah,
well, I feel like that's been the case. Like, since we've been friends, I think about that, how every single year we're like, holy shit, that was just this year. Holy shit. That was just because we like do so many things. And we talk about that, how like time can like contract and expand.
Yes.
I said contract in my hands.
Went the opposite way.
Contract
and then expand.
So like for us, time really is that like truly like changing
malleable thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. For a lot of people, it is a very rigid set thing, but for us, we can.
Yeah, and I think it's because like I was talking to Cole about this, about like the last week that we're here and like the things that we have planned, and Cole was like, "Dude, what the fuck, dude? That's insane." Like, that's so much. And I was like, do you not remember? Like, it took us 3 days to paint the entire shop when we opened.
Yeah.
And Cole's like, I do remember. And you were like, I'm going to go home and sleep for 2 hours. I'm going to get up at 5 and paint the shop. And then I'm going to go tattoo all day. Apparently, that's what I sound like to Cole. And then you're going to, like, go back to the shop, work more there, then go home, take a nap, and then start everything all over again. I was like, yeah, that's, like, how you get time to adjust for you is you just shove more shit in that time frame.
Yeah, we shove. I was thinking about this too. Like, I don't want like life to happen to me. I want to happen to life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what we embody every single day. Is like, we're not letting life pass us by. We are really just gripping it by the fucking balls.
Dude, those glasses are hella thick.
Oh, yeah.
That's weird. Okay.
They're very... Well, I've always had really, really thick glasses.
I've never seen the thickness of your glasses.
Yeah, you can kind of tell on the other frames, but these frames are... I got new glasses, you guys. They're serial killer chic. But anyways, they're pretty thinner frame. And yeah, my lenses are always hella thick. I'm very blind.
That's crazy.
Yeah, very, very blind. Everyone who's ever gotten tattooed by me is going, what?
You're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Wait, I've been tattooed by you.
Yeah. Turned out okay.
Yeah. I mean, I would keep doing it, so it's fine. Okay, so in honor of our 1 year, I wanted to reflect back over the last year. You guys, I just wrote these like questions right before I came downstairs. I was driving home. Thinking about them, and I wrote them on our pretty pink notepad. You can't tell that it's pink on the screen, but it is.
It's very
and pink. Callie hasn't seen them yet, and I won't let her cheat. So
I didn't even know that you were going to have questions. I feel very
Yeah.
spoiled right now. So thank you. Thank you.
well,
for
I
asking.
wanted to continue the tradition of what Cole started at the convention,
Okay.
which is like what your favorite part of like, and we'll talk about the party we did last night because we just did our 1-year anniversary party.
We did, yes.
So we'll start there.
Okay.
What was your favorite part of the party? Like your favorite part of yesterday?
My favorite part of yesterday honestly had to have been seeing new people, people that have never gotten tattooed by us before. They weren't even friends of people who have gotten tattooed by us. They were just like, yeah, we found you guys on Instagram, or like we met you guys at Pride, and we've been seeing that like you are doing an event, so we wanted to show up. And the bravery it takes to do that, but also seeing the fact that like when we say we are a safe space, like it is true.
Yeah.
Like people also know that we're a safe space. So that was my favorite part.
I love that.
How about yourself? What was your favorite part about yesterday?
It's pretty akin to that. We talked about it on the drive home last night about being, once again, we're going to say safe space.
Yeah.
But being a place in which people could like truly show up as themselves, because like for the most part, everyone showed up in costume. And then the people that didn't weren't like weird about it. They were just kind of comfortable.
Yeah. It was so cool.
And it was nice to see that like you could have costume people and non-costume people in like the same party and no one was weird either way. But like the two that like really come to mind, I mean, the witches' costumes were dope.
Oh, amazing.
Like, and there were so many great costumes where people just like went all out. But like the oh my God, I always forget that fucking hammer axe name.
Oh, Stormbreaker.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Like Stormbreaker, and then someone showed up with a lightsaber and
Yes.
like the masks and like the all outness that like it takes vulnerability to go to a party, like being like, hey, I'm gonna bring my favorite toys. And it like makes me think of like being a little kid where like, I'm gonna bring my favorite toys to this party and I hope people like it. And there were several times when people had mentioned it where it was like, hey, this like feels like being at a slumber party when you were a teenager with all your friends, like the games that we were playing. And so it was so nice because like it genuinely created this like beautiful intimate space. And like the moment that the guy like kicked the cup and then caught it and all of us lost our fucking mind.
We went fucking bonkers.
Yeah. And it was just one of those like truly great moments where I was like, this is like honoring each one of our like inner child.
Yeah.
Like and I could feel where I was like, this is truly like an amazing moment to like share with all of these human beings that like I would otherwise have never met.
Oh, absolutely. And I love that someone mentioned that because when I was like making the spooky ooky streets, I was like, gosh, I miss this. I miss like having these like shared parties, but everything's themed with like other kids. Like I miss it. So I love the whole honoring your inner child and honoring everybody else's.
Yep. Okay.
So
So then the other part of that question, what was your least favorite part of yesterday? It doesn't have to be of the party. It can be of the whole day.
Okay. Of yesterday, I would say, I feel like as far as event prepping goes, that was like our smoothest one. I mean, it sucked that like we ended up getting like really close to time.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the last hour, like the last 2 hours really sped by quick. Like I wanted to get to the studio at 5:00, and I ended up getting there at 5:30, and I was still like, okay, that's still enough time. And then I got there, and all of a sudden that 30 minutes just got eaten up like completely. So now I'm going to tell myself whenever we do events, okay, be there 2.5 hours earlier. So that way you can run. You know, we're inevitably going to run like 30 minutes. That 30 minutes will get eaten up.
And it was weird because like the event right before this, we were like, this is so chill. We have so much time. And then like even at the convention, like I felt like when it came to our events, it was definitely the most, the last 2 hours in particular were the most chaotic.
Yes.
Where I was like, what the fuck happened here? Like, out of all of our events, that definitely felt like the craziest on the last 2 hours. I was like, this is an outlier of like, why is everything taking like a
turn?
Yeah,
it
a weird amount of time.
Yeah, because I don't know how you felt during the beginning of the day, but the beginning of the day, I was solid.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, we're fine. We got this. We got plenty of time. It'll be good. And yeah, it was just the last 2 hours that completely got eaten up.
Yep.
So that'll be good to know for future events. So yeah, I think though, like it wasn't anything super bad. It was just the fact that randomly we were like, oh fuck, I gotta get ice. Like,
yeah,
you know, I was like, oh shit, this is the latest we've gotten ice before. So
yeah,
that was it for me. Was it the same answer for you?
Yeah, it was the same answer where it was just like weirdly we ran out of time. And I was like, I don't know how the fuck this happened because like we are typically like having a little breather. And I really like that breather right before people come in. To be like, okay, cool, we can enjoy this. I know that you get to get like all the footage you need. I get to like put on my nails and get a costume. Totally. And it was like 6:30 and I was doing the backdrop for the Barbie box. I'm like, how the fuck did this happen?
Yeah, I don't know
like,
either.
This is insane. But I do not know now that we are going to like, once we get settled in over in New Zealand, we'll do all the backdrops. So we'll just have like pretty standard backdrops. And then Caboose and I were talking about once we can get like the tools, because obviously we've had to sell all of our tools, is that we'll have like interchangeable front faces.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize how big of a deal that was. Like that I wanted the front. And I don't love the coffin that we did, but it's a good first year coffin.
Oh, absolutely. It's cool making the like 1 year reel and seeing the original Barbie box that we made compared to the Barbie box now. Dude.
Let me talk about it for a second. I showed her the first reel that she made for our first grand opening party, and she was cringing and like, oh, that is so like
that was a choice. I was like, okay, that was a choice
because we've grown so much over the past year. And I look at that OG Barbie box and I'm like, okay, that's a thing.
Yeah, that's out there.
Yeah.
It was a good first one though.
Yeah. That's how I felt about the reel.
Yeah, really good first one. Solid start. Solid start, but obviously now we know what we are capable of and what we can do. I will say though, to add on to the last 2 hours being chaotic and randomly running out of time, this event I feel like we really hit our flow state because of comfortability with people. Because even though people came in, we were fine. Like, I don't know how you felt, but I was like, oh, yeah, I know that, like, sorry, we're still, like, kind of setting up, but please come in.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, like, cool because, like, it was more of, like, oh, we're hanging out and you're fine if I'm still doing stuff and I'm fine that I'm still doing stuff and you're here. And it just felt a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, I was literally putting on nails while talking to people and then checking people out. And, like, I booked an appointment and I was, like, putting on nails to be like, okay, cool. You want an original. Perfect. Great. Like, you picked something out of the book. So, like, yeah, I definitely felt like it was a lot more comfortable. It was also really cute because somebody turned to me and they were like, just barely talking to me. Yeah. And they were talking about, I don't know if it was their partner or their friend, but, like, the person they were there with and how they're like, their golden retriever person. Oh, yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's Callie. Yeah. Because then at one point, I don't typically get high during events, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to take an edible because I am struggling with perimenopausal, really bad. Like the irritability, the forgetfulness, I'm fucking struggling.
The laundry list of symptoms. Yeah. It's rough.
It's bad. And so like, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take an edible to take like the edge off of like just life. And then I couldn't talk to people. Then I got paranoid that I was like, oh my God.
Am I being weird?
Yeah. I was like, I thought that. And then like people came in costumes and I was like, what if you're a cop? And so like I went through the plethora of paranoia. Know what it's
like. Oh my God. That's me all the time on weed.
That sucks for you.
Yeah. I just, you know what? Yeah. I try really hard to like it. And there's some instances where it's fine, but it's most cases.
Yeah. Then that's just not the correct thing for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
moving on.
So I did 11 questions. So those questions that we were, don't count. Okay. So 11 questions for our, like, I guess that first question counts. So it's one per month.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite thing about owning a business? What have you, because like I remember when we first started talking, you were nervous about being a business owner.
Oh, incredibly. Yeah. Oh God, incredibly. My favorite thing about owning a business is, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to get emotional saying this. Oh no, I didn't expect it. Walking into our business and having it be a reliable situation now, that is probably my favorite thing. That it's like, even if you're having a bad day or I'm having a bad day, it is not nearly as unstable as it was working for somebody else.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. I love that. That's a great, I want to sit on that answer for a second. That's a beautiful anscer.
Thank you. I'm literally crying.
I got to do my best to not cry because I just ran out of setting spray and I don't want to have like the fucking marks. Black everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's such a beautiful answer because that's how I feel as well in there where I'm like, okay, even if you're in a shit mood or I'm in a shit mood, at least we can just be like, okay, well, I know at the end of the day, I am safe here.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I know we use that word a lot, but that's like genuinely how I feel, that I'm like, I'm not concerned about like, okay, am I going to get fired? Am I going to get in trouble? Like and so I'm able to self-soothe because I don't have to like worry about you. That if I'm like, okay, well, she's obviously in a bad mood. Well, if it's about me, she'll have to fucking do that herself. And it's like allowed me to like establish really healthy boundaries. So I would say my favorite part is, God damn it. I'm also going to tear up.
I did not expect that. Totally.
Is the connections that we're able to build. Like, no longer do I have to monitor what I'm saying.
Yep.
And the people that we've met because of the shop, and then also the sides of ourselves that we've like gotten to see, like the side of Caboose and the side of you. So like with those, like Callie does all the food. You guys should know this by now if you've been here for more than just this one episode. She handles all the food for our parties. I handle all the decorations. And she was going to cut out like the cheese into all these different shapes. And then because I have a handy dandy husband, was like, oh my God, Caboose can just 3D print something.
Thank God.
The shop allows, like, for him, that's something that feels really good. It's kind of like for me organizing stuff, or for you, like doing food, like feels really replenishing to you.
This is a good thing. Like, it's so fun.
Yeah, like you really enjoy that. And he loves being able to come in and be like, hey, you need this little gadget? Cool. Let me go make that really fast. Like that's something that's like great for him. And so to all have this like one thing that allows us to like
explore those avenues.
Explore those avenues and then celebrate it in each other. And also it's like the makeup last night, like the zombie makeup that you did was so cool, because like I kept getting so many compliments on people being like, oh my God, your makeup's so good. I was like, thank you. I did nothing. I sat there. Callie did all the work. But it's like, it allows this like place and this opportunity for the different things that we love in our life to shine. And then it allows other people to be like, oh my God, I too love that.
To appreciate it.
Yeah. Like I heard a couple times where like, oh yeah, Lou loves that. And like, I would like hear that. And I was talking to somebody and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, Callie's the person for that. And then two different people were talking about 3D printers. And Caboose came up and was like, oh yeah, we were just learning about 3D printers. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this person over here has a 3D printer. And then Caboose got to also like talk to other people about amazing, just FYI, I'm going to say nerdy stuff. But when I say nerdy stuff, I mean the best way. Like I keep talking to him about his college being a nerd college, and I can't wait because these are my people. I don't want to operate the 3D printer, but I want to be in proximity to people that know everything about lasers, 3D printers, like the Cricut, because me and the Cricut are battling.
That's the party group, actually.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's the thing, is like, that's the best part, is it puts us in these people's lives where like I appreciate each and every one of them, and then you can see where like they also like see themselves in us.
Oh my God, yeah. It's so beautiful. And the fact that like, again, those parts of our personalities can shine, but then also are just received so well.
Yeah.
Stunning. And we had so many compliments about how the shop looked. And I'm like, yeah, dude, isn't it dope?
That's adorable.
I almost crashed my car fucking looking at the Barbie heads. It was dope.
I really wanted to surprise you.
Yes.
Yeah, dude,
You surprised me with the best surprise ever. These giant Barbie heads that you cricketed at like 2 a.m. because I made a passing comment about how spiders are my favorite part about Halloween. And then there's like these Barbie heads that face each other on our window. There's a spider web inside the Barbie heads and a spider coming down. And they looked so good that my car was drifting because I was looking at it and I was like, oh, fuck. Like literally almost scraped my car against the side of our building.
That's how I felt when I got to see the cucumber. Oh,
God.
I like so brought cute. The cucumber. I was like, oh my God, you guys, these cucumbers are skulls.
They're
and then
so
I
cute.
forget that, like, because when we first started, I was like, okay, we have to look like a team. Like, I very much saw us when we first started. As like parents, where I'm like, we have to look like a cohesive team here.
Yep.
And then I was telling someone last night that I was like, yeah, like I got to surprise her with the Barbie heads. And then I get the like surprise with you guys of like watching reels for the first time, watching like any sort of like videos. And then I also get the surprise with like all the food. And so I was like, it's great. And they made a comment about the fact they're like, I'm so happy you guys like get to surprise each other.
Oh,
like that's so sweet. And I was like, oh my God, that's great. Because there was a part of me that when I said that, I was like, do we not seem like we're like a cohesive team.
Yeah, does it kind of just seem we met and just randomly were blindfolded?
Yeah,
showed up to
where I'm just like, this bitch don't know what it's gonna look like. I'm just gonna do my thing. Like we're two completely separate, but it was like a beautiful moment because like where I really appreciate this bitch is over here just popping off nails.
Yes, I am. They're not my favorites, so I'm happy the last two are off.
But yeah, like I thought it was really sweet because it was a genuinely vulnerable moment for me. And then that person like recognized and was like, I love that you guys do that for each other. I was like, me too, because I was so excited about those cucumbers.
Hell yeah.
They're so cute.
Thank you so much. I was so excited about the way the shop looks so good.
Thank you.
And the Barbie box is dope too.
I know. It's all held together by hot glue.
Sponsored by hot glue.
Yes. The best part about being an adult is you can hot glue on your TV.
That's also cool.
It's yours.
Also, a favorite thing about having a business is that.
Oh, yeah. That's my, like, I can just do whatever the fuck I want. Because I can, what is your least favorite part about having a business?
Ooh, least favorite part about having a business? That's a really good question. I would probably say the imposter syndrome is the worst part. Oh yeah. I still feel that so heavy. And I like dissociate a lot about like, I still to this day, even though we've hit our 1 year officially today, am like very wary to call myself a business owner. You know, because it feels so crazy.
Same. It's so weird to me.
Okay, cool.
I don't.
Do you still feel weird about
it?
Okay, great. That's probably my least favorite.
I can say how I previously owned a shop.
But for some reason.
But I don't. It's weird because to me, it's like the shop doesn't feel like mine.
The shop is like, for me,
it feels
like an entity.
Yes. Like a separate, like if we were actually an LLC, like it's like a separate thing where I'm like, okay, but it's like ours, but it's also like Cabooses and it's Cole's and Rachel's and it's every one of our clients and it's this thing that's like this amorphous being that like is with outside of me. So I agree that it feels weird.
Yeah.
And then I also dissociate when people are like, you guys have like done such a good job. And I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I just leave my body.
Oh, 100%.
It's very akin to tattooing when you like look at the tattoo and you're like, wow.
Yeah. And you're like, who did that?
Yep.
And joke's on us. It was us. But
so weird.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's like my least favorite part. What's your least favorite part though about owning a business?
I would say the IRS. I'm always worried about taxes. Never am I not worried about taxes.
Period.
And like before you come at me and you say, oh, get an accountant. I have an accountant. The whole thing stresses me out. I don't like any of like or I guess bureaucracy. I don't like any of that part because like we just had our 1 year inspection and it was great. But like also, you know, like it's just stressful, like because it's outside of your control. Like we talked about this the other day about how like eventually we'll buy a building that the shop will be in because we don't want stuff outside of our control.
Yep.
And that's the hard part about like renting a building is you never know. And then being in like a city like Reno that's just like a hot mess of bureaucracy. That's the part that I don't like. I'm always like, oh my God, what if the IRS is like, you actually owe us $17 million?
And you were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah.
I'm like, ugh.
That part does suck.
Yeah.
God.
I'm actually weirdly more excited to learn about like that side of New Zealand because at least then I'm like, you know what? It's new and I get to start fresh and like learn something new.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to do this like translation outside of like the temperatures, like learning Celsius and Fahrenheit. Everything else, I'm like, no, it's just new. Like, I'm not going to be like, this is how it was in the States. Nope. New.
No, this is, I'm the outsider. I'm just now joining the game.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. So that part I'm excited for.
I agree.
Okay. So a year ago, we opened our baby business.
Yes, we did.
What advice would you give to yourself then? Because, like, I don't know if you remember what you felt like when we opened, besides exhausted.
Yeah.
But what would you tell yourself?
Oh, first of all, great question.
Thanks.
What advice I would tell myself a year ago from now? I would say, gosh, I don't know, because like oddly enough, even though we've learned a lot, I am so satisfied with everything that's happened in a year.
Yeah. So what would you tell you if you were sitting across the table from you in the like wreck state you were in?
Yeah.
Because we were both fucking scared and excited and like.
I would probably give her a gentle reminder that like, hey, because I just came to terms with this like probably a couple weeks ago, that it's normal to feel challenged. You're going to.
That's great.
Yeah, you're gonna feel challenged. And I just realized like a couple weeks ago, I had this like epiphany that like, oh shit, this is no different than like when I was first starting to apprentice. And like, you know, there's gonna be moments where you're so bone tired and you're like, fuck, dude, like, can I do this? And like, I had moments like that in my apprenticeship too, where it's like, I have to prove to myself that I want it, and I have to prove to the universe I want it, and I have to prove to everyone that I want this. So expect that, but know that like, it's going to pay off, and that's normal. That's kind of part of the process. I think that's like the path to greatness, is like realizing that like your faith in yourself is going to be a little bit shook. You know, but that's also, that kind of means that you're headed towards the right direction, because like you do require some amount of bravery to do great things. So that's what I would tell her.
That's really sweet.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was, it's hard because it's like weird talking about like, I wouldn't say negative emotions around the shop, but like, you know, that's the behind the scenes. Like I feel like a lot of people just see the success. They see bright pink bubbly. They see that we're busy. They see that like, you know, we're doing a lot of stuff. But what they don't see behind the scenes is like just the amount of like sleep that we lose, and like the amount of hard work that we do constantly. You know, and we're always like clocked in.
I am going to finish this podcast and start lasering.
I figured you would.
More merch for the next
event. Just so that way we have it and it's done.
Because we didn't get to have it out for this time. And I was like, I'm not making that mistake again.
Period. It takes one time for you to learn though, which is really cool. Oh, yeah. You know?
No. In that avenue, I am a quick learner.
Yes.
I will not learn your coffee order.
That's fine.
Or anyone's names, apparently. But I will learn lessons.
Yeah, period. I mean, that's important. What's some advice that you would give you?
If I were across from me a year ago, I think I really struggled with the fact that, like, you know, I opened the first business with my mom, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, she did everything. You don't know anything. And I really struggled with that, where I was like, can you actually do this? Like, you can talk a big game about doing this, but like, can you actually do this? And I would probably honestly just reassure myself that like, hey, everything that you're afraid that you're not going to be good at, and the stuff that like, you're worried that you're like, okay, I care about all of these things that like other people might not care about, is the shit that's going to make you successful.
Fuck yeah.
Like your attention to detail and being like, no, that line has to be perfectly like clean, and the paint work, like all of those little details that like so many people tell you do not matter. They are the difference between like it looking as polished as it does. And so like, I would definitely just be like, dude, you just got to show up as you.
Yeah.
And if you show up as you, even though that's fucking terrifying, like you will succeed.
Absolutely.
And I would just reassure like me a year ago that like, hey, FYI, you hit over 500 contact request forms.
Dude, we got an Inked magazine. Within a year of being open. Like, what the fuck?
Well, and I think, so today is technically, we're recording this on a Sunday on October 20th. And today is technically our 1 year anniversary. And we're at 504 for contact request forms, which is insane because we're 2 people. So, like, that's nuts. We don't even tattoo that many days. Like, that's insane. And I think that, like, I would just reassure myself of the fact that, like, nah, dude, you got this.
Yeah.
And like the shit that you care about does matter. Because I think that's that part that you can like get bogged down with, for me specifically, to be like, okay, but no one else is going to notice that. And I'm like, but I notice it.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And knowing that, like, I don't know, I feel like that's been a wound where it's just like, oh God, am I being too much for like wanting to redo this? Like wanting to like redo the booth setup or whatever it may be. But it's like, no, this is important. Like, this is what makes us it, because we can have all the things, but if we don't actually workshop it, then essentially that doesn't guarantee any kind of success.
Yeah. And I feel like we're both really good at it, about like reassuring the other person to be like, hey, like, I'm kind of thinking I don't love this. And both of us, 9 times out of 10, if you're like, I don't love that, I'm like, me fucking either.
I'm like, cool. Okay.
And then like other people will be like, oh, no one's going to notice. No one cares. And we're like, but we care.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess in that regard, that's that part where I'm like, but this is my business and this is your business.
Yep.
And so if those things matter, then like, yeah, it matters.
Totally.
Okay, so what is one lesson you've learned in the last year as a business owner?
Gross. One lesson that I've learned in the last year. Goodness gracious. I mean, I've learned so much.
What's the first thing that comes to mind then? It doesn't even have to be the biggest lesson you've learned.
I guess so, yeah. I think the first thing that comes to mind for me is just keep your eye on the target. Just make sure that, like, you know, you're on it. Lists have always been a thing in my life, but the lists have expanded exponentially. Mm-hmm. So I just now realize that, like, you can have, like, little Post-it notes on your, like digital Post-it notes on your, like, MacBook. Don't call me a boomer. I didn't know you could do that until just now. But now it's like I have, like, 5 ongoing at all times. So, yeah, just keep your eye on the prize. Keep it going, and to trust yourself, you'll get it done when you need to get it done. You'll be fine. Everything will be fine. That's my biggest lesson.
That's a good lesson.
I would say yes. It's pretty good.
Also, to be clear, I don't know how many people know that you can have sticky notes on there.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's like some organizational shit. I just texted Goose to, like, get us out because she's asking to go potty.
Guinness is so cute.
So I think my biggest lesson that I have learned in the last year is that, oh my God, this is going to make me cry.
Okay.
Is that people can actually like you.
Oh.
Like, you can just show up as yourself. The amount of times I've heard that, like, from our friends that have done, like, I don't know why I'm saying friends, like, we don't know who the fuck Cole and Rachel are. But, like, both of them were like, it's so cool because you get to, like, see where, like, people respond to us, and, like, every event we do that feels more and more. So, like, we talked about that before about that, the Portland, how, like, that was so well received by other tattoo artists, and, like, we are just showing up as ourselves, like, our true authentic selves, just get to show up, and people resonate with that. And I felt that last night that, like, yeah, there wasn't as many people at this party as we had at, like, our grand opening, but it was insane because then the people that show up, you talk about this, like, hang out
for a long time.
Yeah. And then, like, and you can see where, like, so many of them are like myself, where we're really shy, but then they're just talking amongst themselves. And it's so great to be able to have that, to be like, hey, look, like, you've shown up as yourself and people fucking
dig it.
Yeah. People are down for it. And I think that's, like, a truly, like, beautiful healing thing.
That was a good
So
lesson.
Moving right on, what's your favorite memory from last year? Pick one fucking memory, ho.
Okay, one memory.
Yep.
That's my favorite. I would probably have to say the Seven Feathers Tattoo Convention that whole weekend was fucking awesome. I love that weekend. I particularly really enjoyed, like, the nights after the event. Like, don't get me wrong, the convention was dope and, like, tattooing people was amazing, but, like, when we would get to the dope-ass Airbnb, such a good Airbnb. You did so good.
Thank you.
And we would be able to just hang out and just talk about, like, what had happened, like, just like, from every point of view, every different perspective, like, hey, what did your day look like?
Yeah.
Because it was all, like, obviously we're all still in the same booth, but we all had different experiences.
Yeah.
Oh, God, the recaps from that convention was just so amazing.
So excited to do that in New Zealand and have Cole and Rachel there.
Yes.
So, like, with all of us there to be able to do that, because I loved that part too.
Yes.
And I was so sad that, like, Rachel wasn't able to experience that. And then we weren't busy enough for the Portland convention to be able to experience that, like, with Rachel as well.
Totally.
Although selfishly, I fucking loved just hanging out with Rachel during that. Like, when it was Sunday evening and we got to, like, pop open fucking alcohol and just, like, hang out and relax for a while.
The best part.
Before we had to pack up. I would say my favorite memory would probably have been for really similar reasons, would have been my birthday party / like our
so good. That was a good one too.
Yeah, funding the rezoning party,
Yes.
where we did like the spy theme, and we got to give out little cards, and then people got to play games.
Bro, that party was lit.
And,
it was so fun, and the whole everything was so cool. The missions that people got that were
my gosh,
different.
and the person that would just randomly put their arm up, or people would dude, those were so much fun to watch, because it's that same thing. It's watching adults like really connect with play. And I feel like that's such a huge thing that like we missed. And I'm realizing as I'm saying this out loud that that's like a really core value of like our shop, is that like it is just play. Like when you think about it, it's a Barbie dream house.
Yep.
Like it's just there to create play. And how beautifully special that is. But I loved everything about that party. Like I loved my outfit. I loved everyone else's outfit. I actually just took off the name tags off of my like cabinet, because I was like, okay, they're starting to peel off. They don't look super good. And I took them off, and like I didn't keep them because they were getting peeled, and I'd wiped them down with Cavicide, so they were getting all smeared. And now I'm like, man, I'm sad I didn't keep those, because that was such a beautiful thing. And then afterwards, we all got to hang out like at the house, and once again talk about everyone's different like perspectives, because like Rachel can fucking sling drinks like
no one's business.
A fucking pro bartender. It is amazing. And like Cole can fucking hype people up for like photos in a photo booth in a way that like I've never like. You're really good at it, but like
people are so comfortable with Cole.
Yes, there's just this like level of comfortability that's like holy shit. And it was so cool to like see all of that, because that to me was like one of the first moments where like we were all, I don't know if that was our first party where we were all together.
Oh God.
Because I don't think were they here for our first? I don't even remember.
I think they were.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's been a really crazy year, guys. Don't get this.
But like that was the thing, is like that I felt like so like this is it. Like this is something big.
Totally.
And that was such a scary time, because we were like, oh my God, are we going to fucking have to close? Little did we know we'd close not too long after that.
Right. However, it was like scary and vulnerable, and it paid off.
Yeah.
It really
was
paid
so
off.
much fun.
And oh God, one of the best like events that we did for sure. For sure. If you guys missed that one, you really missed out. Sorry.
Okay. So then, what task have you developed? Like what thing have you done over the last year? Like that you're surprised that was your favorite part of being a business owner and like having the business? Like what's like a thing that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that like I enjoy this part of it.
Oh my goodness gracious. What task do I enjoy that I didn't think I was going to enjoy?
Or just your favorite task. It doesn't have to be like what you didn't think. That's
totally fine. Favorite task in general, I mean, to state the obvious, has to be editing. Just constantly like keeping the like Instagram gods happy. I'm
so glad that you enjoy that.
Oh yeah, I used to
so good at it.
I used to really fucking hate it for my personal page, but for some reason with the shop page, it's just so much more rewarding. It's like it's so great, like pouring into again this like separate being.
Yeah,
that's like poured into so often by all these people. So that, or I hated doing this when I was an apprentice. I fucking hated going and getting like groceries for the shop, so like snacks for clients. But now that it's our business, I fucking love it.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's so funny. I'm like, oh, this is so sweet. I get to buy stuff for the shop. Like it's so silly.
That's so cute. I love that.
Yeah.
How about because it's your way of nourishing people.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, y'all are gonna get Cheez-Its because I feel like eating Cheez-Its.
I was gonna say, and also probably because you're not like thinking about like saving money. Whereas I feel like when you had to do it as an apprentice, it's like, well, you have to like be careful with how much you spend.
Yeah, because like I wouldn't know how much is in the account. You know what I mean? Like I would just fly in blind and hopefully it'll be okay. Yeah. And now this time around, I'm like, hell yeah, we're good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How about you?
I would say I do really enjoy emails. But it's probably the accounts, and I love like going through our accounts and seeing like what we've purchased and then like allocating it in QuickBooks.
You like that?
Yeah, which is
I'm
really
so
funny because I
grateful.
refuse to do that for my personal account. I know how much money I have in.
Yeah.
I have like that type of autism that my brain always knows how much money is in my bank account.
Yeah, totally.
And like I don't need a checkbook. You just keep it, or not you, but I just keep a tally like in my brain. But I love like doing that at the end of each month.
Totally.
And going through our accounts.
Yeah.
And then I quite like doing payroll.
I love that you love that. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful.
Like tomorrow's Monday and I'm like, oh my God. Or when you guys hear this, today's Monday. And I'm like, it's payroll day.
Yay.
I get to do payroll. And I just really like it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't think I would, personally.
Yeah, totally.
Because like I had so much trauma from my first business with payroll that I was like, I don't think I'm going to like this.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know about this. And now, again, it's the same thing with like buying snack, like just being the shop runner for any of that. Now I love it. I'm like, hell yeah, bro. Let's fucking go. So, yeah.
Okay. And then, wait.
It's okay.
What stressed you out the most? What was the most stressful thing you had in the last year? Like business wise, not we don't have to dive into your personal life.
I think honestly, yeah, thinking that like maybe our shop's gonna get shut down because we're not zoned was fucking horrible. And like having to show up for city council shit was terrible.
Oh my God, that was so funny though.
I don't
we
know
had to
why.
go shopping.
We had to go shopping because we didn't have clothes. I don't wear blouses. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Trousers? Like nice trousers that actually fit me. I don't have that shit.
I had to explain to a client that we had to go, and she was like, "Wait, where did you guys like go shopping?" And I don't remember what the fuck the store
I
was
don't remember
called.
either.
And I was like, "It's next to Forever 21," and they're like, "Oh yeah," because I was like, "It's like an adult store."
Yeah.
And FYI, I was older than this client. This client's like 33 and I'm 37. And I was
It's like for adults.
yeah, like for like grown-ups. Like we had to buy blouses.
Blouses.
I was like, it was because we just kept showing up in the same shit every time
I
to
know.
meet our.
We're just repeating our fucking outfits. And we're like, this is dumb. No more. No
Yeah.
more. So yeah, that was the most stressful for me. What about yourself?
The most stressful for me was when our landlord, who was also our neighbor,
Yes.
had the real estate listing for our
Building.
building out when I went to go pay rent, and then she was being real weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I am very hyper vigilant, so I was like, "Oh my God,
I noticed it too. I was like,
she's gonna fucking sell. She's gonna sell the building. She's got the fucking proposal, like the offer they made on the building, and she's gonna sell it from underneath us. And we've
what are
just
we gonna
invested
do?
all this money, and this is like all of my savings has gone into this fucking business. What am I gonna do?"
Yeah, literally.
And it was terrifying. And I never thought that I would want to buy a building because I'm like, I don't want to fucking deal with that.
Yeah.
And then I realized like through that process, I was like, oh no, that's the only way for you to get any like bit of security is to be like, no, I'm going to need to buy a building eventually. So
Oh,
that
for
way
sure.
we have like security for the business.
Yeah, I heavily agree with
Yeah.
that. That was also stressful. I was like, I don't want to speak into the universe, but she is acting weird. Turns out it was probably something in her personal life.
Yeah.
It was totally fine. But yeah, that was very
Yep.
stressful.
Or she just really wanted to, because she like really improved the building and we were like, wait, what the fuck is going on? And I'm like, oh, were you just excited because we made improvements? So then you made improvements?
Yeah, exactly.
maybe it was also
yeah,
that.
because she was like cleaning up. And
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, it was like a whole, that was stressful. Yeah, that was rough.
Yep. Okay, so we're coming to our closing questions.
Okay.
Where do you see yourself in 1 year? We have one more question after this.
Oh, cute.
So 1 year from now, it is currently October 20th. Where do you see yourself in 1 year? Or what do you hope for? What would you like to tell future you? And we'll re-listen to this in 1 year.
That's so adorable. What a great idea. Hey, future me. In 1 year, we're in New Zealand. Congratulations. Hope you've already opened CaliLou's Tattoos, NZ.
Yeah, you said it correctly.
I did. Hope it's going well, girly. I'm sure it probably is. And hey, did you learn how to drive? Is that cool? Or are you still learning? Because rough, bro.
Well, I mean, you're from Reno, so technically you're
I'm
also
telling
still
you.
learning here.
I'm telling you, you're the weakest driver of the group, and that's okay. I just really hope it's working out for you. But yeah, that's what I want to say. Just I really hope it's working out. I hope that you're enjoying your life. I hope that like you found like a pure flow state. I think we're getting into the flow state right now. It's just kind of funny that the second you get into a flow state with your business, you're moving to the different side of the world, but that's okay. Maybe you're back in that flow state. So hoping the best for you.
I
That's
love
what
that.
I would like to say. What would you like to say to future Lou?
So, hi, future Lou. You're 38.
Wow.
I know. Grown up. You made it to New Zealand before 40, and that was your goal. And I too hope that you have opened CaliLou's NZ by then. And that your Jeep is so fucking pink that you get to live out your Barbie dream life. And right now you're feeling weird about it because you're going to be that weird American who thinks she's Barbie. But you know what? Fuck it. Let's go with it. I hope that you have the most decked out Barbie fucking Jeep that for some reason the front has to say Ken.
Right.
I don't know why.
Yeah. If that's the picture
But
that you
in my
see
brain,
in your
that's
brain,
the picture I see.
send it.
And that like you are just happy just having your studio again.
Oh,
Yeah.
hooray. That's a very good message.
Okay. So then that takes us to our final question.
Okay, final.
Are you ready for this?
I'm so ready. Final cue.
So it has been 1 year since we've opened the studio. What words would you say sum up this past year for you?
Oh my God, dude.
I know, right? I crushed it.
So you really did. That was your questions are so good.
This is what happens when you don't have a radio in your car.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
Because I left my fucking phone at the house when we went to go pick up your car earlier.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Oh,
So you're
no,
just
it's
driving in
fine. I was
silence.
driving and I was like, this is why you use podcasts and radio to entertain your brain because my brain is just like, bah, 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 bah.
Well,
like
great
literally
questions.
popcorn in a microwave just with ideas.
Yes.
And then I came home, I was like, you better fucking scribble these things down. So then,
Scribble 'em.
what words? If y'all
Damn.
don't know I have an ADHD, that's how you know I have ADHD.
Totally. What word I would use to describe it would probably be a roller coaster. Just roller coaster of a year, dude. And I love roller coasters. I like how fast they go. Sorry if you hear my stomach growling. She's been, you know what? She's okay, whatever.
She's full
Anyways,
of pastries and happiness.
I know.
Don't worry about it.
Straight up. Yeah, roller coaster. I love roller coasters. It was fast paced. Fast paced. There is so many twists and turns. There were a lot of oh shit moments. Am I gonna die? And then there were a lot of blissful highs. Like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. This is wonderful. There are a lot of moments where I felt so safe and so secure, and a lot of moments where I was like, oh my God, why did I do this? Oh no. Oh
Wait.
no.
Was that this year that we went to Disney in Florida?
I don't think so. Yes, it was.
Oh my
Yeah, it
God.
was.
Yeah. With all of us.
Yep, it was because it
Wow.
was in the middle of we had just opened and then we left, right?
Well,
Oh,
we
no,
went
wait.
in March for Cabooses' birthday.
Oh, okay. Maybe, yes. Yep. Yeah, because we had just opened and then, we went to Disney.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. And we all got to go on the Velocicoaster twice. It was a terrible idea.
Horrible.
One time, one and done.
Yeah.
And then just recover for a bit and then go again. Don't do it
Don't
twice
do
in a
the
row.
back-to-back thing. That was awful.
I would say fruitful.
Fruitful?
Yeah.
Such a good word. That's so much better than mine.
No, I thought roller coaster was a perfectly apt description. Fruitful was the first thing that came to mind, was that it was a great year of growth. And I know we talk about that every time.
Yeah.
But it was a great year of growth. And we are financially successful. Now, granted, we won't have, because of the time restraints, we won't have time to have completely paid off ourselves to the initial debt that we went into opening a business. But the fact that we are on track for that when we're watching and this is absolutely no shade, but we're watching other shops struggle, which is as someone who loves this industry, is a hard thing to watch. But it really shows that level of when you show up for people, they show up for you.
Yeah, if you pour into people, they will pour right back into you.
And
Absolutely.
that's just one of those truly amazing things.
Yeah. Fruitful is such a good word.
So I would say fruitful.
Oh my goodness gracious. Great questions, by the way.
Thanks.
I'm so impressed. Holy cow, those were
It's
amazing.
I don't know, had a podcast.
Oh my God, it's like you've had a podcast for a while now.
Okay, so on that note, what was your win for the week?
Ooh, my win for the week. I would say hasn't happened yet. Tonight, I'm going to go out and just freaking eat good food and just sleep. So that's my win.
That's a great win.
I'm just celebrating. I'm like, cool, we did it. We we did the thing, and just setting the pace again of being like, okay, I'll get done what I can get done today. Like the three tasks thing is such a great rule for us. After an event.
Yeah.
You got 3 things to do.
You're
and then
only
capped.
allowed to accomplish 3 things that day.
Yes, exactly.
And so for people, so to be clear, it works both ways.
Mm-hmm.
If you aren't motivated, you're like, I have 3 things to accomplish today, and you make one of them kind of an easy thing, and then you can like get like a little bit more difficult. But then for people who have a hard time not like being like, you know, I guess like motivated by getting things done, the 3 thing, like the 3 accomplishments in a day really helps with me to be like, okay, like today it was like, I have to work out. I have to drop shit off at FedEx, and I didn't do that.
Period.
Which is great, because then I'm like, okay, well, you only had 3 things that you had to do today, and if you didn't do one, that's fine, because that means that like
shuffle something else in there.
Oh, I won't even do that.
Oh, I love that.
I'll just be like, well, that's fine, because you were only allowed to accomplish at most 3 things.
I think the 3 thing, God, whatever. The 3 accomplishment rule, I can't talk all of a sudden, is really good for me as well, because it tells me to slow down after like, it's really hard when, I think this is a neurospicy thing too, when you're like really like stepping on the gas pedal right before an event and during an event. It's really hard for me to like actually come down off that high. And if I don't like take measures to be like, okay, you don't have to like have your foot on the gas right now. You actually do need to chill out and like, I don't know, refuel, because you're going to burn out later this week.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the three accomplishment thing is great for those of you who like might struggle with like, I don't know, realizing, okay, it's time to like cool your engines.
Yeah. If you are like accomplished based, I know there's a correct way to say that, but I can't think of it right now. It's really good to be like, okay, well, I'm only like this morning I woke up and it was like, okay, you're only allowed to do these 3 things.
Yep.
And then like Caboose is allowed to have 3 things. You're allowed to have 3 things. If they overlap, great. That's less shit you're allowed to do that day.
Totally.
And it forces you to have to slow down. Like that's something that like I personally think we're really good at is like for self-care, especially now with the business. It's the same thing with like, okay, so we're going to have that crazy week right before we move to New Zealand. But then we have almost an entire week. I think you and I technically have an entire week before we fly out. So we have an Airbnb for a week. And then one day we're going to Disney. One day we're going to Universal. And those are really refueling days for us.
Fuck yeah.
And then other than that, we get to just kind of like relax, sleep, putter around, order food. If we want to go to a grocery store and like grab food, we can. But otherwise, like it forces this like after this rest period after the insanity. And I think that's the hard part too, is that people don't see that. They see that like you said earlier, they see the success. They don't see the like lack of sleep. And then for our friends that and like family that see the lack of sleep, that are like, oh my God, but
that
like
are concerned.
Yeah, like I'm concerned for you. And I'm like, yes, but I build that in later. So I know that like that week after, when I didn't get a whole lot of sleep because we're doing a million things in a week, then I have that rest period.
Totally. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's a huge win, is to be able to just, cool your engines and know like, okay, it's okay. And if you don't get those 3 things, and like you said, you were supposed to go to FedEx and that didn't happen, you're like, I'm fine.
Oh yeah. I
like
was
being gentle with yourself and being like, okay.
I'll do that tomorrow, and tomorrow I'll get the sense of accomplishment. Totally. Because I've been driving around with a package for like 2 weeks and I need to send my machine back.
That's also a normal thing about being an adult. So like, can we just broaden that right now and like say this is normal?
I have to say, one of my favorite things that I've learned is that anytime I go, oh my God, you should have done that, I'm like, that means you get to have that moment of accomplishment later.
Truly.
So tomorrow, while I'm dropping them off, there will be that tiny fleeting thought of like, oh my gosh, this took like 5 seconds. But to be clear, going to any sort of like shipping center, mailing center, anything like that is a lot of spoons for me. Like I fucking despise it. I will go and get Starbucks, and then I will go and take the shit to FedEx, and I will send off the 2 packages I need to send off. And then I will be like, nope, now I need to go fucking lay on the floor and die.
Oh yeah, I don't know why.
It's terrible, but I now know that today I was like, we don't have enough spoons to do that. So tomorrow you can do it and feel that relief at that point.
Absolutely.
And so like, nothing is like unless the deadline's today, nothing's an emergency. But I would say my win for the week is actually just like really sitting in the fact that like we made it a year and we like
did so much.
Yeah, and like we did so much in a year, and just sitting in that like satisfaction of like you did the most.
Totally. The satisfaction of like, and it paid off.
Oh, yeah. The fact that you can show up as yourself and people are like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. And again, like, this is not to say that like you have to have a business to feel this way. But like for me, I think that like we had been working hella hard for other businesses and like it did not pay off the same way that it has when we opened a business.
Well, I think it's because like for me personally, what I think about it is because all the little things that like you do, people notice. And then the little things that I do, people notice. And then we also notice. Like, I'm so grateful for all the things you do for the business. I genuinely feel like you are so grateful for the things I do.
Yes.
So we are no longer working for people that make us feel shitty about the stuff that we do.
Totally.
Because like we would do the parties and you would get like a very half-hearted like, thanks for doing that. And then 2 seconds later, be getting yelled at about some bullshit where they're like, what's happening here? And you're like, dude, I just spent fucking 72 hours organizing this entire fucking thing.
Yeah.
And like, now you're yelling at me because like one thing hasn't been ordered. That's not an emergency. That's going to get done tonight.
Oh,
like,
totally. Absolutely. Where or like, ow, okay, thanks for not even being grateful for the fact that I am doing the thing.
Yeah. And I feel like both of us are so like, because we both see how much work goes into all of it. And I guess that's the real difference is like, I see the hours that you put into social media and like how hard you work. And so I see my job as your business partner and as your friend to like facilitate that. And then you see the hours that I put into like all the event prep. And you're like, you know what? I want to feature that and like show that. That both of us have no qualm at being like, wait, it's $20 for dry ice. Let's go, bitch.
Yeah.
We'll spend $20 on dry ice.
We'll fulfill the fantasy.
Yeah. So I feel like we have like shared goals when it comes to like, yeah, some people think that's extra, but like, I think that's what makes it fun.
Yeah. And if we get enjoyment out of it, then fuck it. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm obsessed with that cauldron. Okay. So on that note, thank you guys so much. I know this was a longer episode and we are so grateful, and like, subscribe, follow, share us, all that shit I'm supposed to say at the end of it.
Do all the things.
Yep. And we will see you back next week where I don't know what we're going to talk about. My finger looks so weird when I do them like that. But we'll talk about something because we have ideas. And oh yeah, alcohol. We're going to talk about alcohol.
Period. Yes.
We're going to do a taste test.
Oh my God.
Which really means that like at some point this week, we're going to get really drunk on the podcast.
Yep.
Because we are going to do a taste test of random alcohol that's like akin to my childhood,
that we
your
found.
childhood brands.
Yes,
that we found at one of our favorite places in Reno,
the Lee's by our house
at North Center.
They always play bops,
except for yesterday.
It was so strange. It was so quiet.
And yeah, the bops are really important.
Yeah, but the songs are great. But overall, thank you guys so much for such a wonderful year. Holy shit. I know we've had the podcast for longer and this is not the podcast anniversary, but if you've been following the CaliLou's journey, thank you for such a kick-ass year. Holy fuck, our first year was amazing. I wouldn't change a goddamn thing.
I mean, I don't know. I would maybe not have to pay the city $14,000.
Yes.
That would be nice.
Sucked. However, we did make, now tattoos are a personal service.
That is true. Yeah. We did fix the zoning for you guys. So you're welcome.
Oh, God.
But we will see you guys back next week. Bye.